What's up, guys? This is Coach Ray. I'm here in Lithuania, so I arrived for European Armwrestling Championship. Just settled in, wanted to do this video before I take a big nap, but so I wake up really early at 5 a.m. I was driving from Latvia to Lithuania, and with one eye I could peek or hear the matches in Australia that were happening, and the big one, Ryan versus Lachlan. To be honest, if I wouldn't have to be driving this early, I would be sleeping and I would just watch the match on replay, because in my head there was no other way it could go if Lachlan doesn't get injured, and it went exactly like I have said it from day one. I will say how it is. It was just enough time, not enough time for Ryan to get as strong, and I actually don't know how long time it takes. Longer you are in the sport, the slower the gains get by the end. You might be good, and you slowly get better and better. But when the gap is so huge, it's very hard to reach that gap. With enhancements, with getting bigger, with all those things, the gap is still too huge, and the time was not enough. So in my head, there's no chance. I thought like Lachlan was better at every fundamental. And the interesting part was always the fans. Fans, at start it was like 30% said that Ryan would win, 70% said Lachlan. Closer you get, like I did a poll 2 days ago, and it was like 57-43. 57% people thought that Lachlan would win, and 40. That's almost as even as it can be. And I'm just, like, where do you draw these conclusions? Even some of the pro arm wrestlers, but I'm like, I might think they're emotionally involved in this when they say that. Because if you look at both arm wrestlers, there's just some competitions they have done. Lachlan has done way better in way bigger weight class. If you look all the practices, Lachlan kind of dominates them. And I know he usually comes in tired, with just finished his workouts, and then he arm wrestles just to be weaker for everyone else, so he can get the work in. And and I said, like, fresh Lachlan is something else. And everyone's talking about speed. I think Lachlan won all the starts, getting every time in position. There was, I think, one real slip that happened, or two slips, something like that. But, pretty much, how it went. And it's not a knock on Ryan. Everyone's like, you just don't like Ryan. I like Ryan. I just don't like when someone tries to tell me reality that don't exist. That's the difference. So Ryan made a post like 3 months ago where he said he will be reach number 1 in the world in his weight class, and then years later he's going to be absolute number 1. And I said, like, dude, I think it's impossible. Even me and Neil, we talked about it. It's like, it's impossible. We know way more talented arm wrestlers that rise. You have to be, like, from the start, from the get-go, as soon as the doors open, you have to be contender in any class you're in, any competition you're in. And I just don't see that. And if he would have won Lachlan, I would have changed my mind. I would have said, well, maybe there's a chance. But, so that's and this is where all the delusional series comes from, because Ryan kind of sets his goals way too high. And I don't know why he does that. I don't think he needs to put it that high. I think he can just a little lower, and it's still, everyone would respect him, everyone would like him, but he sets his, like, he will go and win Zloty Tour. We saw how that turned out. He couldn't press any of his opponents over the center. He won one match. That's the difference. If he would have said, I will go and try my best at Zloty, no one would say anything. So I think Ryan kind of sets himself up for these things. But however you look at this match, however it went, Ryan got better from this match, from preparation from this match, from getting in zone for this match. Every time you have a clear goal, doesn't matter how it goes. You might lose, don't care. You put yourself a little bit higher, you reach another top. Like my match with Frode, and even I made a video where I said, like, I will beat Frode. So I came with the facts I know. 2 years ago we pulled. I thought I gained enough. I thought that some fundamentals of mine will be enough to beat his. Lanes I chose were completely wrong. If we would face again another time, I would change the lanes where I was going, do some other stuff where I would be, in my opinion, way more successful. But in that preparation time, I up my level, and I get better just because of that. And I'm very happy. I'm happy losing that match. And I don't think Ryan will look at this as like a big disappointment. You know, he sets, I just think he set himself too high. But again, they offered him match for #1 spot in Australia. You're not going to turn that down. There's no other real contenders there. Maybe one or two guys. Who else going to take it? Ryan had to take it. So it's, in my opinion, it's, you know, the match went how it should have gone. Ryan should have been taking the match. Ryan should have been, everyone was like, wow, he had no business in being there. He had business in being there. We just solidified that Lachlan is better. That's it. There's no, don't try to diminish whatever, you know, Ryan is doing, has been doing. He got better. He will get better. Both of them need international competition. Lachlan and Sasha, if they face each other, that is a good match, in my opinion. I think Sasha is still the favorite. He should be, but that's a good match. If Ryan faces Borshdar, sorry, Ryan, I'm not on your side there as well. I just think it's a terrible matchup for you in some cases. I think it's gonna look like it's a grinder, but just because of Borsdar's style. But you know, let's not jump ahead to conclusions or to matches that haven't yet happened or haven't really been announced. But overall, Lachlan Adair looking really strong. He needs to get out. He needs to have real competition. You know, I think he's somewhere in the mix in top contenders, 110 kilo class, and I want to prove it to myself when he competes. So congratulations, Ryan. Keep your head up, dude. You know, like I said, you should have been there in that match. The gap was just too big. Set your goals a little bit lower. You're right there, but you know, it's good to chase monsters. But you know, this monster was, I don't think you can catch him, you know. But yeah, in the video, Ryan's frame looked really big. He looked, you know, he can still fill out and get bigger if he wants to. But you know, even with everything he said, like he will eat and he will be big, he was like 102 kilos or something like that. So I don't think he will get bigger. I think it takes a lot of time, maybe in 3 years, slowly, just, you know, trying to make yourself bigger in those short periods of time. I don't see that much benefit on him when, you know, when you don't have, like, you really haven't filled out. Yeah, I'm just blabbling about this. Doesn't matter. Yeah, what do you guys thought about the match? Just give me an information and leave it in comment section. Yeah, did you, everyone's now is going to be, yeah, I thought it's going to go the same way it went. And when I was doing the poll, it was 40%, 47% was like, I think Ryan still is going to win. So yeah, look at the facts, look at objectively, don't look at it emotionally. So that's what I want to say. Yeah, I need to take a nap. I've been up for way too long. Stay strong. Love arm wrestling. Love Australian arm wrestling. Cheers.